use Boonus and Pickers. The thing we gotta watch is like, we'll still potentially catch carp while trying to target bream, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. Let's see what they're putting in their PVA. It's kind of interesting that they're using PVA. Does this mean we need to use feeders instead of pickers? Can we actually is this a picker? Yeah. Okay, so we can. Okay, we might be okay then. All right. In fact, we could even go down to a 20 on all of them if we needed to. And we're gonna, I guess we're gonna do large one hooks and try to trophy bream. Is that the dream, basically? Get those numbers rolling. I like it, Cassavir. Sarkos, how's it going? What's up, Blunty? Mad Myers. Yo, they should look into that. They should launch their own. I think that's a great idea. We're going to go 28 gram. 28 gram. It's so grim. That's not really the hook we're looking for. Even that one would be better. Although I'd argue that's not the hook we're looking for either. Let's see. That's the hook we're looking for. All right. So what it's worth, we are going to 57.50. Let's see if we can find this spot. 57.50. Hold on. Oh, it's back this way. I got you. I'm tracking with you now. It's not far though, right? It's just like right through here. Oh, it's on this. It's on this, but are they using this? Yeah, they are. Okay. And they're going clip 14. Interesting. Okay. Let's go ahead and craft our ground bait. So this is bream copper. That's the dock. Yeah, it'd be fun if they let us make our own custom boilies using existing ground bait ingredients. Ooh, I like that. That would be cool. All right, so let's see. We're doing pearl barley. I assume that translates into millet porridge. That's casters. That's gonna be chopped worm, I think. And then that's gonna be garlic. I actually might use spicy garlic, to be honest.
Challenge. Challenge accepted.
Yo, Gray Fox. Thanks for the resub, 4 months. And Gizmo, thanks for the follow. I think we're going to do spicy garlic. Is that weird? I don't think that's weird. Oh, that's a good question, Physician. Did even the old Avia get a change to sort of match what they were going for with the new one? I don't know the answer to that, but I did notice they look very similar. Yeah, thanks for the follow, Gizmo. Gray Fox, seriously, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it. All right, 14-meter clip. Let's get her going. We have the bream copper bream stuff. Pick it up, 14 meters. So we're using garlic dough and large 1 hooks. And we're just going to see if we can tease out a bream here. Even a few decent ones would be nice once we get to nighttime. Oh, gotta do that, don't I? We don't want to blow out everybody's eardrums. All right, let's see if I can go ahead and... There we go. If you back up far enough. All right, 10.55 is basically where we land on that. And let's get some food. The nice thing is, while we're waiting for bites, we can go ahead and set up. We can go ahead and set up our... Oh, nice. We can go ahead and set up our rods, how we want to set them up for once we switch over. So we're going to go with the, obviously, our pickers, royal pickers. This one, I want to go large 1. And we're going to do double boilie. We're going to go banana 20 on a banana 14. And do we still have banana copper left? We do. We have plenty. So we'll just start with that. And then second one, we'll go... This one we'll do boilie and corn. So we'll go 14 banana corn, banana strike, banana copper. So Marcio Mello 32, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. And then on our last one, we're just going to go corn. We're just going to go corn on this one. Now we will eventually have to make some more PVA, but that should be a good start. All right, I think we've got a fish on line 1. There's a fish on line 1. All right, is it a bream? Did we find bream? Yes. All right, so we have a bream. It's still early. Hopefully they will get bigger. I think we have bream on all 3. Or we have fish on all 3. I don't know about bream. The only thing that scares me a little bit is, like, I can just feel a 7-kilo mirror coming and absolutely crushing us right now. What do we have on? 6.2? Actually, we'll probably be okay. That looks like a nice healthy bream. 1.148 kilos. All right, chat, let me get caught up with what you guys are spitting over here. Let me get caught up with what you're spitting. Yo, what's up, Mui? Welcome back. It looks a little bit more fancy now. You talking about the Avia? Yeah, I'm not sure. We could go back. I'm sure I could find a video that has the old Avia in it. This is where I was catching all my dink mirrors. Yeah, that's what scares me. Sea Trout, greetings. Welcome to the stream. Now that it has been a few days, have you gotten a better understanding which reel is better, Azimuth or Avia? No, so far they seem exactly the same to me. No difference at all so far. But we're also not catching big fish yet. They both seem great, by the way, with what we're doing so far. 2.6 bream, gotta love it. All right, 14 clip. If there's a bream cafe you're just dying to fill, or you just want to get bream for some reason here at Copper, it seems like this is happening. So probably would work just as well with ground bait. Bream don't usually care that much between PVA and ground bait. This is a whole nother level of bite rate though compared to the normal fishing we do here. But it'll be interesting to see, you know, are bream worth anything here? So one thing to notice is that bream is on the card. So, you know, a small additional amount of motivation. All right, Robbie says, when did R4 stop showing chat fishes? It's been about a year. I don't know. It's been a while. Ever since they were starting to have server issues and such, they took that out. I think that was maybe part of what was going on. I already know, Blunty. I'm just now reading your message. I know what you're referring to, and good job, sir. That's, at least for me, that is funny. I like that. Tell him. Just tell him I'll call him back. Don't know which is better, but Avia has been perfect. Yes, I agree. You stopped for about a year? Well, there you go. There you go. I'm just seeing where you said you're about to buy the setups tomorrow. I think it's fine. I mean, I would just like, to me, it's, do you want to prioritize a little bit more strength, or do you want to prioritize a bigger spool? And the only reason to prioritize a bigger spool would be if you're hoping to use these setups on other places as well. You don't need the bigger spool here. But to me, like, those are the considerations. I mean, I think the Avia is a great reel. I think Azimuth Blue seems to be really good. But I think it just depends on like how flexible you're wanting it to be for you. You can also, I mean, the Tagara would be even better in some ways, but it's a little more pricey, I think. Y7, let's go 10 mirror. There you go. There you go. Is that right? Same spot. You can get rough trophies here on red worms. That's interesting. I was not expecting that we were going to catch this high a percentage of bream. I mean, I'm sure eventually we'll get something else mixed in, but I mean, it's 100% right now. The spool size really helps when you need to go to the long way around the lake if fish get stuck behind terrain. That's a good point. Kind of looking for a reel mainly for copper. Oh yeah, you're set on other carp, huh? Yo, Sean, what's up? Greetings, welcome. How do you feel about 13, 14 kilo setups? I mean, if you're going for smaller stuff, I think it's fine. I do think you'll start to feel it. Like recently, there's just been so many mirror carp mixed in. And based on what setup you're using, oh, is this a roach? There's a roach. You could start hitting some mirrors that will be a little frustrating for that size. And obviously, like super freaks and some of the dinks, I mean, you've got some really big carp in this lake. That, not that you couldn't get it in. You could get it in if you're patient, potentially. But it is going to be a long road if all you have is 13 kilos of strength. Now, the only downside with rough is we don't have the motivation of it being on the card, right? I mean, always fun to catch trophy anything, but... Yeah, 200 lines enough. Where are the big carp in this lake? I'm not sure. I don't think we've quite figured out everything yet. By the way, in terms of bream, oh my goodness. That totally changes things, doesn't it? It is tempting to have something like Meteor 30s or I don't know, something else for bream just to qualify for the records. Interesting. Particularly on our picker set. That's interesting. I didn't think about that, Gizmo. Yo, what's up, Renzi? Banana is beating Cocos and cream. Cocos or cream. Yeah, I thought about trying strawberry or raspberry, but I think I will start with banana. Somebody's had a trophy rough and a trophy gibble, by the way, in chat. All right, we got a little dead moment here. I want to check out the cafe. Haven't seen it yet. Oh, that's a nice F1. I mean, you've got two nice F1 orders, although this one will be about over by the time we start fishing over there. But that's cool. Rough order, good way to make some silver. Maybe that's a reason to catch rough here. I'll have to remember that, see if it's still working at whatever point in which I do some work on, like maybe a video about taking the trip for lower level players. Things like going for rough and bream, especially if there's cafe orders that match it, would not necessarily be out of the question. I have not. That's a great call, though. Check out the Pomar boilies here. Let's see, what do you have? You don't have banana, but you do have caramel. Oh, and they have raspberry? I kind of forgot that they had raspberry. They have black pepper. Honey. I mean, I bet you could do something with honey, like you said, especially start mixing it with stuff on your rig. You finally got eel trophy on Oldberg. That is awesome. Way to go. Check out weathered amber and bear. Okay. Instead of sitting there in the really slow evening for carp, like just come over here and catch some rough or bream. Could be cool. I haven't even looked at the weather here. Okay, all normal weather temp. We do have a cold day, but normal water temp. Bear is hot. Okay, and that's, I mean, bear always runs hot, I feel like, but now we've got water temperatures running hot as well. And then amber is also hot. So if the logic is consistent with what they were talking about in the forum post, the developer post, then you would expect carp to be closer to the bottom. So you want shorter leader links if you're trying, especially if you're trying the zig. Would be interesting if it makes bottom rigs better. Yeah, I mean, you might think that short leashes on zigs and or just using straight up classic hair rig type, although it depends on what you don't want to like throw that in a bunch of weeds and then the fish can't see it. I don't know. A lot of small bream, but we've had some decent ones too, so I don't know. Switch from pop-up to sinking. Zig rig is popular in the UK. Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know anything about Zig rig before this update came out. I did not. Did y'all see this post on VK where somebody using banana stuff caught the new tench trophy? But it looks like if you look at their net, like that's the only tench they caught, and it just happened to be a trophy. So they're definitely a bycatch at best in that spot, but it is possible. And we'll glance at the trophies listed on the interesting. Not trying to be critical, but why don't you respond to comments? I guess that's fair. I do not spend a lot of time responding to comments on YouTube. Interesting. Random question. Do you think any Oh, wait, are you talking about real life, Mugai? Are you talking about in real life? Sea Trout says, I caught my trophy bream on the spot using honey dough. Oh, interesting. I think this patch was partly designed to bring in more UK and Asian players. Huh. Let's catch that trophy bream. I like it. So you caught one on honey dough. Alcohol, I occasionally, once in a blue moon, might drink a beer. But I do like red wine. So, I mean, we don't get it very often, but if we have red wine, I'll drink a glass of red wine with dinner or after dinner or something like that. How come you switched the rod pod to a silver one? I mean, I felt like the rod pod I purchased when Copper Face first came out was sort of an impulsive purchase. And when I realized that you could return it for a full refund, and I had time to think about, like, okay, is this really do I really want to spend this much gold on a red rod pod? I decided I didn't, and I switched it. UK cart boys need their rod pods. I mean, I love the fact that they've entered in this rod pod into the game. Like, this is such a cool thing to me. Bro, that comment annoys me and it wasn't even made to me. Why would you need to reply to everyone's comments? Is that somehow an entitlement of a commenter? That's why I have comments off on my FPV channel. Considered it for the gaming one. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think on one hand, like, I just don't have, and this is true for everyone, I don't have, like, endless time. And so sometimes I sort of, I don't know, I guess prioritize how I'm going to spend my time. Am I going to go through, like, YouTube videos? I release a lot of videos at certain times, and so it wouldn't be just going through, like, oh, what was the video I released this week? It would be going through however many videos that is and seeing, like, okay, are there new comments? Do I need to respond? So one part of me, like, thinks that. The other part of me does think, though, that, like, I don't know, what I enjoy most about both streaming and creating videos is, like, interacting with people. At least that's what I think. That's how I think of it in my head. And so that comment does sort of challenge me to think, like, well, if I'm not prioritizing responding to videos, comments on videos where real life people have taken the time to leave a message based on the content from the video, then maybe I'm not prioritizing the right things. So I don't know. I love how flexible the pod is. Yes, I agree. I have not, I was not expecting, I would not have had my hopes set on this much flexibility in a rod pod. It's great. Yes, and I like it when I get in the sort of in a routine of being able to do that, Renzi. Not so much trying to, like, type out an answer, but next time I make a video, trying to go back and respond to, like, at least the questions that stood out, or the comments that stood out to me the most. So that's a good point. So, but I mean, I also think, I do think there is some like, I think it's a fair comment that this person's made. I don't take it personal. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I'm trying to figure things out the best I can, but I mean, you know, if I do prioritize what I say I do, or if what matters to me is what I say matters, then I get why it might like rub somebody the wrong way that I don't respond to many comments on YouTube. And now I will resist the urge to not respond to every comment on that video. I won't do it. Hey, what was that trophy? Oh, a tench. Nice job, Steve. I love to see trophy tench coming out. I've not seen one of those personally, but that's very cool. All right, so it's 6 a.m. We're still in that window of time where we could have a nice bream come out. We'll see. That was 1.1 kilo. On our way over to the carp spot, I'll stop by the fish market and just see how much do breams sell for here. Gizmo says, I've watched most of your fishing videos for the past few hours that you've put out, and you do answer comments in the next videos. Thank you. I hope that that does happen at least some of the time. I hope so. Nailery says, what rod are you rocking right now, and what rod would you recommend when going to copper? You've got about 800 to 1,000 silver. Is that what you're saying? Heck yeah, man. I got to use the spiker if I'm spin fishing. Locked into the spiker right now. Yo, Michelle, what's up? Greetings. Welcome to the stream. Posting a video doesn't entitle all the comments to be replied to. It's just posting a video. Make demands in the comments. That's how you like to interact. It's totally fair as well. No, I hear you, Blunty. I hear you. And I appreciate you providing that perspective. I think I tend to, if anything, I tend to err on the side of just wanting to like crank out a lot of content for YouTube especially. And like what gets sacrificed in that, for me at least, is maybe it would be better sometimes to slow down, make less content, be more thoughtful about the content that I do make, and spend a little bit of that extra time, you know, facilitating community by interacting with people. I don't know. Like, I think that would be, it's not necessarily right or wrong, but I can see why somebody would prefer that sort of approach. M-Dog has acknowledged more of what I've said in the last few weeks, and some of my family haven't. I hope that's not true, but it's great to have you here, Sarkos. The streams are very interactive as well. Well, and I mean, I will say, and this is where I might like not get into trouble, but like might be a little bit off from people's expectations. When I'm feeling interactive, or when I want to like interact and hear people's opinions about stuff and have the back and forth and all that, those tend to be times that I stream. But there's other times when I just want to like be in a bubble and focus on just that one-way process of like, okay, what content can I create that might be helpful for people, but not so much as focused on the back and forth. So, I mean, I think that changes with my mood and how tired I am, what else I've had going on that day. So I think that's also a part of it. You know, and if everything was in the same platform, which, I mean, I wish it was, but the truth is, like, I'm established in Twitch, so it doesn't make sense to stream on YouTube right now. And Twitch doesn't have the resources and platform that YouTube has for just posting videos. So we're separate. But if it was all the same platform, it would probably feel a little less weird in that way. I think it's important to answer the questions because people like to ask stuff, unless it's weird questions. It's a YouTuber's audience. I totally agree. And I guess what I'm saying is imagine how much more that would be obvious to me and how much more like maybe time or margin that I would have for that if I didn't stream. If you know, if you take out all of the streaming that I do and it was just making videos, then that would be the way that I would interact with people. But thankfully I do stream, and so I get to spend this time just talking with people, hearing them in real, in live time and responding back and forth. So it's just different. Caboose says, every time I think about wanting to get back into Russian fishing, I remember it takes 10 years to get a decent fish. Don't have enough time for it. Yeah, fair enough. It can be a grind for sure. Oh, so sorry. I have an welcome, Michelle. How would you, am I saying it wrong if you're Italian? Anyway, either way, welcome. First time streamer. First time chatter. I feel like a first time streamer, but where should I go to spin fish after Belaya? I'm level 18. Probably Corey, although it may be worth looking into like the trolling process at Corey. Not so much just straight up spin fishing, although sometimes that's okay. Okay, going back to a question that Nallery asked, what rod are you rocking and what would you recommend when going to copper? Okay. I wanted to work back to it. I just hadn't yet. So right now I'm using these Bunison pickers, right? This has nothing to do with what I would recommend you using or buying here for copper. This is just what I'm using to try to catch bream right now. When I start fishing for carp here, which is the main thing you're going to fish for, I'll be switching to my Royal pickers. Again, not something I would recommend to you in your situation because you're already saying that you have about 800 to 1,000 to spend. So one question for you, and we can talk about possibilities, but one question for you is, do you mean you have 800 to 1,000 to spend on one rod? Are you trying to get 3 rods for that much? And also, what reels are you planning on putting on said rods? That's all important information for folks to try to give you some recommendations. And I can tell you though, if you have a tighter budget, if you're lower level, you're gonna probably want to look at the feeder rods, not the picker rods. I think you can get more bang for your buck. So just as an example, by the way, at 9 a.m., so very soon we're going to be switching over to the carp spot. Just as an example, if you get a Fortuna feeder, which I don't remember how much this is, but I think it's less. I think this is in your budget range. If you're talking about per rod, you have 800 to spend per rod. You're looking at probably getting something like this, a Fortuna feeder. And so that holds a max load capacity of 19 kilos. So you probably want to be running, 17 or less strength on that setup to give you a little bit of a space margin of how strong your rod is compared to what kind of line and stuff you're running. So that's just one example. And just Renzi already has his recommendation. I would keep saving. That's, yeah. Oh yes, I did. So I have one. Oh crap, these aren't the right rods, are they? I'll set them up in a minute. We'll come back to that. I did want to point that out today. The ones always confuse me, the numbers. Jamalis or... Anyway, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. Canon 1984, if I missed you, I apologize. Thanks for the follow. Bomar says you can get heavy Wingate feeder 33 kilo for 2,000. That might be worth saving for. That's a good point because you can grow into that feeder. You can pretty much use any carp reel or setup and use the Wingate fairly safely. Is a rod that has 11 kilo load capacity enough for pike? I'd say for the most part, yes. Now, when you hook into the big pike, even up to like trophy pike, it's going to hurt. But, I mean, that doesn't mean you can't. You can go ahead and target pike with a rod like that size. Just remember, you got to use steel leader or they're going to bite right through it because you're using such thin leaders. I'm level 29, but on a budget, 800 per rod. How about the reel? Okay, so if you save up for the Wingate, which is 2,000 per rod. Oh crap, y'all. Let's get out of here. We've been here long enough. We can do this another night if we really want to go for bream again. If you save up for the 2,000 rod, then like I said, you can pretty much go for any reel. It just depends on how long you want to save. But if you go for the Fortuna, which is more like, I think it's more like 600-700 silver. Maybe it's 800. I don't know. Whatever it is, then that maxes out at what did we say? 19 kilos. So you want to aim for a reel that probably has about, I mean, there might not be this exact number, but somewhere around like, I don't know, what do y'all think, chat? Like 16 kilos of strength, 15, 16 max. I mean, a lot of people put Saber 60s on Fortuna feeders, at least in the beginning. And then as they get something better, if it's still under that 19 kilo strength, then they can just like still use the same rod, and then eventually they'll get a nicer rod. So sometimes I always feel like with feeder rods, you want to get a rod that will basically grow with you through two steps if possible, where like if you save up for those wind gates, that's going to grow with you for way more than 2 steps. But I don't know if that makes sense. But let me get everything set up here, and then I'll try to use a little bit more of my brain to... Okay, this is weird. Why is it set up like this? I actually want this one here. All right, what are we on? 10 clip? And then this is the Avia one, which I'm used to having it on 1, but yeah, I think I do want it on 1. All right, so, oh shoot, it didn't go. All right, so that goes to 1. Oh yeah, that did work right. I don't know if it's on the right clip. All right, then I need to go back to the pickers. Pick up this one. And this one wants to go in slot 2. All right. It's not exactly how I meant to set up the bait order, but the way it is right now, we have just the single corn, which is 2 pieces of corn, in the middle. The small boilie and corn is on the left, and the double boilies are on the right. And good eye, whoever picked up on that, I did purchase 1 Zyman P Series 2 GS 30S, which in my opinion is like the intersection of strength without overpaying for a 3000 series reel. There is at least one that's going to be a little stronger than this, a little better than this, but the price goes up dramatically. So that's sort of where I decided to land. What are you doing? I mean, people would literally like push their elderly family members down just to get a hold of that. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, let's see if Nallery provided some more information. Saving could be the best. Yes, I do think it's worth, by the way, considering just saving. Well, just going back really quick to Jamalis's question, I'm assuming you mean a spinning rod that you would use for pike fishing, not a jerk rod. I definitely would not recommend getting a jerk rod that you can only or mostly use with pike. You want it to be, just because those get more expensive and there's only so many options. Anyway, just to go back and clarify on that. Holy cow, there's so many comments. I love it. I'm going to try to keep up. So Blunty asked a really good question. Do you have any gear already? So he or she, Nallery, has full carp set up, but it's too heavy for copper because it's got the HSVs and all that. You have a meteor left. Fortuna feeders served me until carp rods, but the game has changed a lot since then. Yes, me too. You think it's best to save? I think that's probably a good place to land. Since you already have carp rods and you might not need to worry about the steps. True. That's a good point. So my whole thing about taking steps probably doesn't apply to you because you're already higher level and you already have the carp rods. You really are just talking about what's an affordable way for me to be able to fish at copper and enjoy it without breaking the bank. And if somebody, like, if I was ever going to do this video, this is really important. Like, you need to almost create categories. It's so complicated now, you need to create categories. What do you recommend someone do who's a new player aiming for copper? What do you do for someone who's a player already leveled past copper, but because they went the most efficient way going straight to carp rods and bigger reels for carp fishing, they don't have anything that's backwards compatible to copper. So what should they get? And then thirdly, maybe what's just your dream setup for copper? I mean, those are at least 3 categories just off the top of my head that the game is so complicated now. The answer to those categories could be very different from each other. Hey, there's an F1. Let's go look at the cafe really quick and see. I don't remember. There was a smaller F1 order, but it was expiring very soon. Hold on. Wait a minute. No, hold on. Wait, whoa. I'll think of it in a second. Just give me a second. I gotta check this cafe really quick. Boom, 450, 485. So how much time is left? Wait, was that a new version of it? By the way, there is a tench order. If you were catching rough, there's that rough order. If you trophy F1, there's a 3 kilo. So it won't even let me see how much time is left after I thought there was a way to do that now. Maybe not. Anyway. Goodness. Wait, why swap out your leaders? Did I swap out your leaders, Razor? Physician says pickers make more sense than feeders if you already have carp rods. All right, hold on. Let me look at this. Yes, okay. I'm using an 18. Wait, I should be using yours. Yeah, you're right. No, this was just a user error. But this one, I am using yours, Razor. But I did go back up to 22.6 on that one. And I went up to 22.6 on this one. So I did have some leader changes yesterday. Screeder says, by the way, tight lines to you, Razor. I won't ever take out my Saber 60 here again. They got wrecked in a few hours on copper on the gold 60s now, and that is okay. Yeah, it's cool that gold 60s are like on the short list of reels. Who knew that we would get back to a place in RF4 where gold anything would be the reel that would be amongst those you would choose to use. That is pretty cool, but pretty surprising, honestly. Okay. Okay, so the problem with the Fortuna carp rods is you can't use them here. If you're talking about fishing at copper, remember one of the restrictions is no carp rods here. If I'm not, I might be joining the conversation late and missing out on something, but the Beastie has double the mech weight for only 3,000 more. Yeah, and that's where, again, the answer is different if the reel you're getting is possibly going to turn into your like full-time carp reel no matter where you're fishing versus just what you want to use here, I would argue. I appreciate all of the effort that went into min-maxing these leaders. Oh, good. Atman's going to share once he stops getting spooled. All right, mirror number 1. If you have Fortuna carp rods, you'll need to start grinding again if you want to buy copper gear. That's the situation I'm in as well. Yeah. Nicely said. Let's eat some of that light and darkness Russian pancakes. I had 3 F1 trophies today from that spot across from you. Wait, across where I was fishing for bream, Dan? 4th should get Vinga 6000 just to flex. Sure, why not? Flex away. That rough order takes like 5 minutes. Yeah, that's true. You came with new spots. Wait, what do you mean? You have new spots for me? It's Siberia Linear. I bought for Belaya. Now I'm asking about pike. Yeah, try it. I think you're fine. As long as you set it up correctly, the worst that's going to happen is it's going to bite through a leader, snap a leader, or something like that. Just don't set it up where it could break it. I complained about the strength. What are we talking about, Blunty? So it's sand bottom where I'm fishing? Okay. Yes, I sold my red rod stand. Now I got a silver one. I think the Avia has been great. I think that the hello. I think that the Azimuth Blue's been amazing. And those are the 2 I've used mostly. I also have a Mayer 19 that I've used, and it's been fine as well. Hey, it's a rare. I love it. Oh, you're here. You were at 5660. I'm at 5660 now. That's 111,000 XP, by the way. Oh, you're talking about that dock over there. When I first started the stream, I was fishing for bream over there. I assume that's what you mean, though. I could be wrong. So I think the avias are good, Florin. Everything else you can get for this lake is useless. I don't know. Is that true? Sage Picker all has bonuses for carp rigs, lower tier. Okay, thank you. I'm happy to look at your spots. Sarko says nice fish. Thank you very much. 60. Okay, let me get this onto a note or something so I can look at it before it disappears. Look how good this double boilie setup's doing. 2 fish in a row very quickly. I hope it keeps up. Oh, and this is a common. Nice. Something about the 20 boilies being on there is kind of doing cool. All right, so you said 61, 62, 15 strawberry pop-up, double strawberry red corn, 1 hook, 20-meter clip. Throw exactly south. There's a mussel bank. You want to hit that. A lot of F2 super freaks and other carp. Really? Really? So you think that's, I mean, is it active? How good's the bite rate? because when I'm streaming especially, I mean, I can always try it later if it's slow, but when I'm streaming, I want it to be like somewhat entertaining. Yeah, I'm happy to show setup. Which one do you want to see? So the setup that just caught this, I forgot to check the bream prices. The setup that just caught this Kohaku, because all three setups are different to be honest, but the setup that caught it was this setup here, and let me throw this PVA up and I'll get out of the way for a second. Okay, and just real quickly, you've seen the PVA, but the middle rod, so far that rod that I just showed you has been the most active, but obviously we've not been fishing for long. Middle rod is back to just the corn, and the far left rod, I've got the boilie corn combo, because frankly it seems like a pretty high percentage of F1 trophies have been caught on this setup, but I don't know. I'm at 5660. Copycat says, nice one, MD. Thanks so much. Oh, so this is our first bottom light record. Hopefully not our last, but it's our first. Okay. All right, let me catch up with chat real quick. I got a regional record. Yeah, I just noticed that. That's so cool. Atman says, I'm one of those that have classic carp setup, Fortuna plus HSV. That's awesome. I just want to enjoy copper. So after consideration, I'll go 3 times Fortuna feeders, 3 times Alpha, Commander, Gold, Narga reels. This doesn't break the bank. Wait, why does it look like there's 4 reels? What am I reading wrong? Alpha, I know what that is. Commander, I'm not sure. Gold, I know what that is. Narga, I know what that is. Mini, that's a good spot. If you want very fast bite rate, goes large 4 on mini spot. Okay. Bite rate, large 4 hooks. Cool. All right. The next 2 spots I'm going to write down are a bit better, but the first one also works well. Your braided feeder line is at a certain color. I'm using the camo red or whatever. All right, next one. 4936 west northwest, 15 meter clip, 15 strawberry double, strawberry red corn. Use silk lead core. Wait, silk, is that one of the colors? I never change out lead core stuff, but I will try to consider doing so if I try this spot. All right. Oh, those are the options. I got you, Atman. Okay, cool. Let me look those options up, actually. I want to look at that, but first let me copy and paste this last spot. 4334 double cocoa cream, 10 meter clip, clay lead core, best F1 bite rate I had, even better than the bite rate at the north spot. Wow. Beautiful. Man, thank you for sharing all that, Razor. That's very, very helpful to have so much info. And let me pull up the reels so that we can actually look at these reels that you're mentioning. All right, reel sheet, let's go. Now we're just going to go ahead and go down to the 6,000. And let's just quickly look at this. Okay, so we have Alpha, Commander, Gold. Okay, let me look at the alphas first. Are those the cheapest? I feel like those might be the cheapest. All right, Alpha 6000. 13.5 rated drag, 1800 silver. I just feel like it's a little weak. If I'm being honest, let's see what the others are. All right, here's the second one is Commander Gold Narga. All right, Narga's right above it. Let's look at that. Okay, that's the same rated drag. A little bit more silver because you got a little bit stronger mech weight. I assume there's a little more line length. Yeah, but it's negligible. It's about the same. And then third, we have the Commanders. Okay, so are all of these about the same? Yeah, they are. I gotcha. Okay, so all four of these, I see what you're saying. All four of them cost less than 2,000 silver. You're saving a full 1,000 silver per reel. I like what you're doing here. All right. Personally, just looking at the stats, so not thinking about how they actually feel, I think I would lean towards the Narga. What do y'all think, chat? If those are your four options, Commander, Narga, Alpha, Gold, I think I'm leaning Narga. Lowest ratio, same line length, slightly better than some, a little bit more strength, decent mech weight. If you ever wanted to lock up a carp, which you probably don't, but if you ever wanted to, you could lock up a full carp setup. I think out of those four, I'm leaning Narga. I haven't used those 6,000s. So again, that's just based on stats, to be honest. All right. So let's see what y'all think. Natura is expensive and 2 kilo better drag only. Simplicity says, I bought 3 times gold 60s. I mean, that is the nice thing about this, is all four of these examples all cost about the same thing, have similar stats. Like, I don't know that you can go wrong. I do like the way the golds look, especially the slimmer ones. I mean, I have the old school gold 80. I've always thought they have a nice design. It's got that Siberia down in the corner. And I think the gold 60s even look slicker because they're a little slimmer. But I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, I guess, so other considerations might be, is there a difference with repair cost? Are any of them upgradable if you wanted to? I don't know that you would, but are any of them upgradable? Those are things that might be worth like looking into. But they're all very similar. Full Metal 60. Wait, what is, yo, Venom, is that a, where's the Full Metal 60? Oh, it's right there. But is that at the fair only? Really quick, let's look at the Full Metal 60. So first of all, you're talking about, I mean, you basically are spending the same amount on a Full Metal 60 that you are on all three of the other ones, because it costs 5,500 silver. But the mech weight goes up to almost 50. You have rated drag of 18.2, so very nice in terms of strength. The line length is fine for copper. Good ratio. Yeah, that's a very nice reel, but it's different ballpark in terms of money. group. Renzi, you're leaning towards avias. I mean, I get it. I love the avias. I like the way they look. I've always enjoyed the Avia 8000. So why not enjoy the Avia? Although, you know, I've told you all before, my favorite color is blue. These azimuth blues do sort of speak to me, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm using bananas. Yo, Diddy, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. And new fella, thanks for the follow. So if I'm understanding you right, Desperados, you were using the single corn that has 2 corn on there and dip only, no boilies at all. Damn, that's funny. I'm thinking about once it's like nice and late nighttime, maybe we go just like hit that rough order real quick. I mean, it's good silver, you know. What clip did you use, Renzi? That is definitely a different PVA recipe. I'll give you that, Desperados. Desperados. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. Where did you get that recipe? Did you just come up with it? 10. Okay, cool. Yo, me panda, it's going well. How are you doing? I'm glad you're doing great. That's awesome. Yeah, that's smart. I like it. It's a little pricey, but it looks like it paid off for you. 712 feed pellets, crushed banana 14 boilies. So you only had 3 main ingredients, right? If I'm understanding it correctly. Very cool. I'd be really tempted to add biscuits just to give it that 4th ingredient to increase the amount of PVA you're making. But that's just me. I'm not saying that's better or worse. I think I would do something like that just to, or even put like amino in there or something. Ooh, nice Mui. That's awesome. There should be peanut butter. What's up, Maz? I've been putting corn in all my PVAs. Oh yeah, that's good. That's smart, Blunty. Just like regular corn, huh? Corn or maggots. Yeah. That's good thinking, guys. Here, let's just do it. All right, so we're going to use... All right, crushed banana 14. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Grats to you, Desperados. And this is going to be banana copper again. But we're going to, this time, change up the base. And we're going to have to recopy pasta. — 28 out of 60 Amiricarps. That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. Yeah, I need to buy some more corn. Yeah, this looks great. I like this a lot. I like what y'all are throwing here. Desperados got a good thing going. I can just feel it. All right, so next time we are doing our banana grind over here. Oh, let me make sure I got the right one, actually. It's the darker one. Let's make sure. Yep. All right, what time is it? It's just after midnight. This is probably about the time things start to slow down, right? 5, 6, 7. Let's just do that right now. 5, 6, 7. That way it's just easier, less switching around. Reported for spam. I'm torn between deciding if I spend 15 for 3 oil pickers or not. Oh, because it gives you the ability to use PVA. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, that sounds right, Dan. I don't blame you for thinking you might want to keep it. How much of a difference, have you been fishing here without PVA? How much of a difference do you think it's making based on, I guess, when you're seeing other people use it? All right, we got the common carp order done. We're hopefully about to get rough done. All right, so how much are these bream worth? Oh yeah, not bad. A 2.5 kilo bream is 9.6 silver. So that is a little bit more than just like the, what was it that we saw? Oh, the trophy crucian was worth like twice as much here as it is at Mosquito. So. All right, so we are on 5, 6, 7, and we're doing a 10-meter clip, I think is what we said. Old school. Actually, this is where we ought to buy one of the cheap rod pods. Has anybody bought a second rod pod to see if you can have two down on the ground at the same time? 5, 6, 7. I bet I don't have all the quiver tips set up properly. That's why they're different colors. How many do we need? I didn't even look. I think we need 6, but I have no idea what the size is. Yeah, I'll be getting this wrong. All right, so I just need to look at the rod and pick it up with E. I do not need to try to remember what number I have signed to these rods. It's not going to happen. You're just using normal ground bait for carp and it's doing very well. Well, I mean, if you're doing very well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're going to be disappointed to have those particular pickers at the end of the day, like even once you're fully leveled up at bottom fishing. But the question is just, is that what you want to prioritize right now? Yeah, Zip, the timer stops. It only runs while you're logged into the game. It is kind of nice just throwing my rods down on the ground. Like old school time. I mean, I love the rod pod. I'm just saying there's, something nostalgic about just throwing them down on the pier. Can somebody tell me when I've got caught enough rough? It's like this spot is just far enough that I don't want to go check. 6, do you know the size though? Over something, right? Over 40? I'm done. I'm done. We have finished. Our work here is done. All right, let's get a couple more and then we'll go turn it in. Easy silver. Yeah, that's right. No, you cannot fish with 6 rods. You can't ever have more than 3 rods in the water. I was just talking about, so I left my rod pod over there in our carp spot. And I was just, being silly, but thinking about like, okay, what if we had the cheap one? Could I also put the cheap one out over here? just get a trophy rough. If it was on the trophy card, I would totally stay over here. I also do want to see, to be fair, like if rough are worth a little more silver here, doing the rough grind at night might just be worth the silver. I mean, 30 silver in 3 minutes? 30 silver in 3 minutes. Interesting. It's not letting you reel. Oh man, that's like, imagine the clickbait title that would be. Confirmed. There you go. Trophy rough. Tell it to stop. Yo, Mux, welcome back. It's going well. Yeah, it's going good. We just made 30 silver in 3 minutes. So, feeling pretty good about that. Renzi, you feel like there's any chance that you're going to be able to maintain that fish, or is this an Alt F4 moment? You think he's slowing down? Good. Which one is that? Try my cocoa double corn spot. Let's see. I think that was the last one, right? 43.34. Okay. Yeah, I'll try it. I think I say I'll try it. I think we'll probably do that once we have fished here for a little bit longer. Love it. I just really like that there's these rares mixed in. This has been great. Yo, Big Drock. Regional record. All right, Pulsar 4000. Pulsar 4000. Okay, so Skyward, thanks for the follow. We're using 7.6, 6.2. Okay. 7.6-ish. So we want, so that puts us right around Pride, Proton, or Supercast. Or Saber 60, to be fair. Maybe Saber 60 is the answer. Why? It's just frustrating. If we knew now if we knew then what we know now. These little things are awesome, but
Challenge.
they're unnecessarily 4,000s.
Challenge accepted.
Azen, thanks for the sub. Prime sub comes in with the new sub. Welcome. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. Man, the F1s are popping off. How's the bite? Skyward says it's been good. Yeah, it's been good. Pretty consistent. Not a lot of downtime. We did the bream were caught somewhere else, but all this has been since bream. Yo, Shoddy, thanks for the follow. Y'all are amazing. Red camo leaders, that's what I'm using at the moment. Yes, I believe so. Yeah, community still kicking, and cooking. That's true. F1's good silver, easy to land. All right, so am I right in thinking that this should be, that maybe this is the answer? Picker rods, instead of these Pulsar 4000s, this becomes our new home for Saber 60s. Because all we would need to do is buy one Saber 60 and then we've got a full set. Oh no. No. I'm sorry. See, I'm glad I said this out loud. I don't know if any of y'all caught the fallacy of what I'm thinking through right now. This is not at all what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 3,000s, not 6,000s. Right now we have 4,000s on there, and we want 3,000s on our Bunis and Pickers that will be affordable. But we can go for small fish, and might as well just go ahead and be counted in the light category. Okay, so more of what I'm looking for is the gold 30s. Those are going to be expensive though, right? Less than 1,000. What would be the cheaper options? Okay, so Mosquito 2s, Horizon 2s, or Meteor 30s. Those would all be reasonable. So I already have a, oops, that's the wrong one. I already have a 30. Okay. But I probably, at least ultimately, will end up wanting a matching set. I think I like the Meteor 30 does have the biggest spool of those three. I think I like those Meteor 30s, the one I already have. We don't care about mech weight because we're not overloading them. The Meteor 30s are 150 to 200 silver cheaper. I think that's the answer. Meteor 30s it is. The dock has died off for me, trying to find a new spot. Yes, Dan, we just turned that in. And that is very good silver for a small amount of fishing. All right, so I think it's going to be Meteor 30s. That is not what I thought the answer was going to be, but I think that is the answer. Meteor 30s. Game RR96, thanks for the follow. What's a good feeder rod for copper? I think, like on a budget, I think the Fortuna feeder is worth considering. Fortuna feeder gives you 19 kilo load capacity. I mean, that's really what you're looking at, right? Is what load capacity do you want to go for? Now, the Siberia Sentence does go up to 24 if you want a little bit more room to play with. Or the Coldstream goes up to 35, the West Hill Coldstream. Now, I don't know how the Coldstream compares to the Wingate. The Wingate may actually be a better option if you want to go up on the higher end. But those are the ones that I have that that I was using here before I got my picker set. I haven't looked at feeder rods in a long time, to be honest. So there may be really different options. Oh, I think this reel guide now has a rod sheet on it too. Let's see. Yep, telescopic rods. Okay, hold on. We might be able to pull up some other options. Let's see. Spinning, casting, jerk rods, feeder rods. Okay, so the question with feeder rod here is, what reel? I mean, this is really kind of the starting point. What reel are you wanting to use here? Okay, so you're potentially using gold 60s. Let's see. Go back up to the 6,000s. Okay, so gold 60 was that range where you have 14 kilo rated drag. You do have a much bigger mech weight than that, but let's work off 14, 15. So really, the Fortuna feeders are fine if you want to go cheap. But if you do want to go, the Fortuna feeder has 19 kilo load capacity with 478 cost. It's only 478 silver. But then like what the Coldstream feeder, let's see where that one is. Coldstream feeder will run you 2,700 silver, but it does go up to 35.8 load capacity. But there's a lot of other options too. Model 1s, the Wingate. It's just how much silver you want to spend. I mean, for your gold, I guess it depends on like, do you want a feeder that is perfect for those gold 60s? Or do you want a feeder that you can use your gold 60s with and then have space to grow from there? And your next reels would also go on that same rod. But I mean, there's a lot of good feeders. Just looking at this list, I'm remembering how many good options. Always just double check test. Load capacity is important, but so is the test to make sure you can use PVA and stuff once you unlock it. Yeah, those Model 1s are good. I mean, I think the Model 1s are good whether you're talking spinning, casting, feeders. They all seem to be pretty good. Here's a nice F1, right? Yeah. I wonder how of a max load can be offset by the Wingate's 3% control. Oh yeah, it's a good point. You do have some bonuses on some of those higher end ones. That's a good question. You want to upgrade the reels? Okay, then you don't want to get like the Fortuna. Fortuna might not have enough power if you're looking to eventually upgrade those reels. It might be worth saving a little bit longer to get some more room to grow into. Was that close trophy? Is it 3? It's 3, right? 2.7. Yeah, I'm actually using 3 different setups, man. So the slowest one right now, but it was kind of popping off early, is the double boilie 2014. And then in the middle, we've got corn only. And this is 2 artificial corn, so the single setup. And then finally on the far left, we've got small boilies with single corn. Yeah. Pop-up rig on all 3. Let's see, Kamamecta feeder. Let me look at it, Hubble. All right, so the 440, the Kamamecta 440, you have to be level 14 to use it. The test goes up to 160, which is plenty. Length is 4.4, which is fine. 25 load capacity, that's great. And it only cost 849 silver. Yeah, I think that's a good middle ground. It's a little bit more growing room than the Fortuna feeder, but you're still not breaking the bank. So just recognize with that load capacity of 25, that means that when you start putting your, like when you upgrade your reels, then you're going to be maxing out your carp setup at 25. So what that means in reality is that the highest you will ever go is 22 kilo on lead core and leader, right? So you're going to be, no matter what reel you get, the strongest carp setup you'll have using that rod will be 22 kilos, which that's pushing it a little bit, because by then that rod might have a little bit of wear and tear. So if it's not at 100%, it might not still have a full 25 kilo load capacity. So again, 22 is about right. But yeah, I think that's good. You just kind of want to know going into it, what is the ceiling of the rod? 25. If you go down to the, the Model 1, for example, that gets you to where you could do 27, at least when the rod is still at 100%. Once it starts to get down to 5-10%, 27 might be pushing it, but does that make sense? Ooh. I think it's a safe. Y'all see how it pulled it first and then it was fine? That's a nice orangey. Nice orangey. You look how grumpy they look? Let me see. Yeah, the downturn in their, that's funny. Ooh, I like this. I like where Maz is going with this. What I would tell myself 4.5 years ago about feeders: buy the cheapest possible and save for the royal pickers one by one. Why? Because I have used them from level 30 to 47. I've caught 36 kilo fish on them and down to Donnet's rough. Now they're awesome for here too, so just buy once, buy the best. Fascinating. Those copper saith are pretty orange. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. Doo-doo. Royal pickers were actually cheaper than I was expecting. I mean, I've had one for a long time, but I only had one of them. So I just wasn't like expecting them to be how much they cost, but it only cost 5,163 silver, which, I mean, it's a lot of silver, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's got a load capacity of 29.4. The test goes up to 55, so it's like the best test of any of the pickers, and that includes the new ones, right? I don't know. It's just, I think it's a reasonably good deal. And of course, one of the big reasons you're getting the picker is the royal picker is because the strongest stat in the game, at least this is our understanding of how this works, but the strongest stat in the game is a bonus to the type of fishing you're doing. So in this case, that's a bonus to bottom fishing. You also get the nice bounce to XP, which 25% when you're carp fishing, that matters. But 10% to bottom fishing is why you get these rods. You might get it before you're at 100%, so you can unlock PVA. But even when you are 100%, the bonus is still just as relevant. Because, again, our understanding of what the developers have told us is that nothing impacts the quality of the fish that you have a chance of catching, like the increased percent of the actual type of fishing you're doing. The new Sage is a lot cheaper. I think the new Sage is about the same. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, the new Sage is about the same, and then the other new one is like, what, 18K or something? Nice trophy bleak. +1 on rig types earns 0.3% more chance. So the legacies do have a stronger load capacity if you're looking for an advantage for those over the Royals. And then you're getting a bonus to rig type instead of a bonus to bottom fishing. Yeah, I don't know, Desperados. That's why I said it the way I did. We're all basing this on our understanding of what the developers have said in the Q&A. We may be missing something, but that's our understanding. Check the challenges. Feeder. Royal does it all, ranked 7 out of 7. So you're talking about feeder challenges. You can go 7 out of 7 if you're using Royal pickers, instead of other things where you have to change based on the current thing that's being asked of you. Yeah, if I talk to if I get to have a conversation with somebody, a dev again, I would definitely clarify that. I've been doing some, let's see. Desperado says they communicated that you have +3 in skill tree, in your skill tree. I've been doing some marker testing. I found a big shell at 20 from 4334 at the bottom end of the map from the dock. If you cast north, interesting. I didn't notice any difference between Legacy Carp or Fortuna. Getting the same amount of rares and trophies. Any extra plus from gear is less efficient. I have no idea. It's a small chance they state that in the forums. There are a few feeder specific tasks in that tree, but you can use a crappy one for those. Feeder challenge, the hardest one are the likes of the cut'ems, but you also need to catch a 30-kilo fish. Yo, what's up, Fabric? It has been a long time. I hope you're doing well. All right, let's see where we're at here. Just got to watch the time and everything else. I do want to try to switch to that, go test out that spot Razor said, 4334. Is that on the other side of the lake, I'm assuming? Cream corn is doing good, lots of koi on it. Oh, nice. Yeah, we're about to be using cocoa cream white corn. Ooh, Razor, when you say double, do you mean quad or do you mean just 2? Just 2. Yeah, that makes sense. That's usually better bite rate, right? So cream, 10 meter. We're using clay lead cores. Okay, good. Okay. Is Clupanella the smallest fish in the game? That's a great question. All the way in the south. Okay. The Tugan is the smallest? Yeah, I think you'll get a 40 map. I think you'll get a 40 map. How far are we from that? 34? How many maps away from 40 are we? I'm starting to second doubt myself. 36, 30. I mean, you got to figure there'll be a 36 and a 38. It'd be nice to try. It'd be nice to switch to the cocoa cream, just to change it up a little bit. I think there will be. I don't know. I would think so, Dan, but yeah, we'll see. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do a quick bio break. 2D was slow but decent size. Oh man, imagine turning a kohaku into fish pieces. Oof. How much are these non-marker rares worth? Are they still worth a couple silver or not? Circle of Life. I really should release those. Speaking of Circle of Life. Magic fish pieces. The burbot that you can catch on those. That would be so complicated if the type of fish you turned into fish pieces somehow mattered. Yeah, I stand. Yeah, standing desk. Sometimes I'll lower it and sit, but I typically am standing. Different size fish pieces, yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can't organize them though. Like, I mean, how many pieces of fish do I have at the moment? 3,000. Trying to like figure out like how many do I have to use to get to the one that was the kohaku. Yeah, I mean it's a little slow at the moment. It's also the time of day though. I mean, a lot of times when I have fished here, this is the time of day it slows down, and then around like 9 7 8 9 p.m. it'll pick up for just a short amount of time before overnight. It's kind of why I'm not moving until we get through that time, just to see if we catch anything nice. But we'll see. You may be right. Maybe it's just... Maybe I've actually fished it out a little bit. See if I played around with the amber or bear with the temperature changes and seeing any early results. We still don't have any changes here, right? Normal through the full forecast. But if you look at bear and amber currently, it's increased water temperature for the full forecast. I think that's still true. Yep. You still talking about here, Simplicity? My only issue is I've fished here a lot. You know, I mean, maybe it hasn't been as long as I was thinking. Because we started with bream. I'm trying to remember if I fished here today before stream. I don't think so. I think I fished here last night, but I don't think I fished here today. Craft Baits banana. Is that the other banana? I actually don't know that I've ever tried the craft ones here. If that's the other one. Yeah, I've used Old Pal. I haven't used Craft. Yep, they only put water temperature, so far at least, on the carp maps. Which I really wonder. I mean, I guess one simple way of thinking about that might just be that use pop-up or, you know, stuff that elevates when it's cold. Use sinking stuff, lower stuff, shorter leashes when it's really hot. Yeah, I hope maybe bear will benefit from all of the carp places getting a little bit of attention. Yeah, that's true. Not just the type of rig or how you're setting up the rig, but maybe the spots you're fishing in based on that kind of stuff. I already Thank you. I don't know, man. The benefits of being a streamer. I've received banana corn and banana dip today. It's just not fair. It is just not fair. And if you feel like it's not fair, I agree. It is not fair. Free entertainment, fair trade. Okay. Okay. Well, I just mean there's so many people that would like to be able to purchase banana flavored stuff and it's just out of stock in the store. Life's on. What's up, Steelhead? It's all in my inventory. You learned a few new spots, so you're okay not being fair? There you go. Life's only fair when it ends. Yo, what's up, DJ Pooney? I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen you. Hope you're doing well. How big is the Eel Pout trophy? That'd be cool, Dan. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. There's the F1. So we got past that time where things start picking up a little bit. Where can I read about zig rig technique? I can't remember. Old age. It is in the forums under the guides, and then specifically under the developer guides. I'll be curious what this fish is because it's nibbling much longer than carp. These carp typically have been in this spot. Where is it? Is it under gameplay? Yes, gameplay, guides and tips, then staff guides, and then gameplay elements and UI zig rig. It actually does take a while to get there. All right, I'm gonna post it in chat in case anybody wants to read it. This is what the developers posted about the zig rig. What's up, Patrick? So it was a little mirror carp. How many PVAs do I have left? I've got one left. All right, we're throwing it back one more time. And then here shortly, we'll be pulling them all up, and we're going to go try one more spot before the end here. Go 18 Tootie, 20 banana, Tootie dip, 31 mirror, just got a 17 freak. No PVA at all at 56.60. I'll have to try that later, Eddie, because I'm already committed to trying something else, but I'll get back around to it after stream probably, but I'll report back to you. Yo, what's up, Sneaky? Tootie dip. Big fish. 11-meter clip. Eddie. Always appreciate spot recommendations from Eddie as well. Okay, so we've got this little guy. All right, so we should be out of this PVA. Okay, good. Now we already have the next PVA set up for next time we want to do this, but the banana PVA. But right now we're gonna go double cream. So cocoa cream, right? Cocoa cream white, which probably means cocoa's nectar, although it could mean cream. Okay. You're saying yep, so I will go with that. It's cocoa's nectar. Okay, cool. And we'll just throw on a random... Oh, that's funny. I still have some of this cocoa and banana stuff. Very relevant for here. Oh, I have cocoa for copper. I always like to go cocoa for copper. Okay, cool. All right, so we're going... Oh, we've got to change this one to just the corn. Cocoa. And let's go cocoa for copper. Okay, nothing happening, so we'll just pull it up. We're not going to waste time just chilling for one rod. And I think the other thing I haven't changed is, oh, you know what I want to do? I always like trying one something a little different. So we'll just do like 16. It'll slow the bite rate down a little bit, but hopefully not too much. Let's see here. And we're going 10 meter clip. That's what we're already set at. Perfect. All right. Remove. And remove. Here we go. Yeah, that's true. You could go one banana setup. That's a good point. Especially if you did the banana cocoa combo feed. That would be cool, but you could not return your chair? Okay, cool. Yeah, well, I want to be able to see the light. We've got more lights, you know? We've got more lights. All right, we're not there on Gibbles for what it's worth. Ooh, good call. Saving the bream and not selling them. 37 silver for 3 bream. Another easy order. If you're not getting the bream rough or, silver, you can get them from the same spot in no time at all. Right? Worth looking at. The lonely lamp. Jordy got a trophy gibble. Non-marker first black koi, nice. Hey, trophy F1, there you go. Love to see it. Just straight out, right? I mean, it's 10 meter clip. It's just gotta be. Oh, you said north? Okay. Bit to the right. Gotcha. Oh. All right, we'll see. If I need to move those other two, I can. And let's get some light up in here. Hither. Especially at night, it's going to be slow because it's pretty much slow everywhere at night, right? Okay, here we go. Fountain of Wilderness. Oh, that was quick. Nice little common. We get to watch the fish. Two different types of fish over here. Well, that might be consistent with the slowdown on the other side of the lake too. It could be a temperature thing, who knows? Six hours, 98 fish. You get your first F1 trophy. Congrats. Ooh, Watterson Trophy Tench. Love to see it. Yes. Yep. There is a Discord. Some folks do share some spots and stuff occasionally. (1:50 a.m.) Should start picking up soon. Is it tomorrow? Have they said if they're doing anything for the anniversary? By the way, I think I'm going to be able to stream tomorrow. Like starting even earlier than I did today, and probably able to go a little longer than I'm going to be able to go today. I will have a rare day at home instead of at the office. So you're on 3 trophies for copper, though one doesn't count because it was a roach. Ooh, I have a roach trophy, a F1 trophy. And a Crucian Carp trophy. Oh yeah, good point. Will they replace those with anything, or? I think you're gonna try the strawberry spot, 4334. Okay. Let me know how it goes. This will probably be my last spot for this stream, just because family and everything else is around that I want to go check out. But I think they should consider really celebrating the birthday, the anniversaries by like, for example, you should have, yeah, that's Steam date, right? That's the Steam date. I think the anniversary date is actually before that, I think. 50% increased bite rate. That's funny. Wait, maybe that's not the Steam date. I can't remember now. But I've had several people tell me that it's in May is the game anniversary. This is what I was going to say, though. Have a, have a special version of the, like the Avia 6000, for example. Avia 6000 seems to be getting a lot of love with this release. So have an anniversary of the Avia 6000, and if you log in and play on that day, you can get, sorry, I'll finish my thought here in a second. I'm trying to find it on the list. Where's the Avia 6000? Oh, it's so new it's not on this list. Let's see, how much does it cost? It's like 5,000, right? Let's just say it's 5,000. Have an anniversary skin version of the Avia 6000. If you log in the day of the anniversary, maybe you get it for you buy it for 1,000 instead of 6,000 or whatever. Something like that. I think it'd be cool to have an anniversary skin where you could be like, for the rest of the game's history, you could be like, yeah, I was there on that anniversary, and I got the, that year's rod or that year's reel. You can only buy one of them, but you get like a ridiculously good deal on it for that one day. I don't know, I think that'd be cool. Yeah, something that feels like a celebration, where people are like, yes. Feels like a reward. Ipenplug says, I would have dropped copper for the anniversary. Yeah, it was really close, wasn't it? 5th anniversary was May 20th. Okay, nice. Flower Power. Russian Fishing Forward was released for early access on June 15th, 2018, and officially released November 11th, 2021. This is what I found on the internet. Interesting. An anniversary trip. Or a special fish at Mosquito. If you catch, you get a few hundred silver, gold, silver, bronze for each different fish. Oh, that could be cool, Dan. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Sorry, I don't know if I know how to say your name. Inger Picados. Greetings to you. People would be happier about copper as an anniversary lake. I started playing a few weeks after release. I'm proud to be an OG player. There you go. Hey, F1. Do you think there were some people who raged when they saw a house price drop on Corey? Oh, I didn't know the house price dropped. What did it change to? Yeah, I agree with that, Dan. When did that happen? How did I miss that? Oh, that's right. I got it. I bought it just after the price drop then, because I got that and the Norway house at the same time. That's cool. You mean special fish like, say, an iron or a kettleball? Yes, yes. Those would be fun accessories. It's interesting, like, this is the only kettleball we ever got, right? To be able to have something else. Like, it was so cool because it had the date on it, or at least the year. Kind of wish they would have stuck with those. Why did I end up with so many irons? BTW. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's a good question. Were there people that were upset by that? Maybe. I mean, don't you sort of expect that? It's not like it was a week after, right? It was a long time. So, I don't know. I mean, I would expect that something that cost whatever it cost in a video game could potentially be on sale or a lot different later on. Yes, it is a big drop. I mean, that's fair. Yeah, it is a big drop. I think it seemed ridiculously expensive before. For sure. And maybe it only seemed like a good deal when Norway came out and it went on sale because of how expensive it had been before. But yes, you do get jaded a little bit into just assuming that everything is going to be pretty expensive, just because a lot of things are really expensive. Getting a few barbels on the inline rig at $56.50. Really? Are you talking... Okay, but we do not have the new barbel here, right? It's just at Bear? Yeah, that would have been a cool idea if you bought the Quarry house before the sale. Maybe you get something. I don't know what, but something cool. that would be like pretty close to value in terms of the difference in price. Especially if it was purchased with gold, I feel like. I don't know. I'm going to recast this one because it's been a while. In Germany, your power bill 6 months in the past 6 months is 3 times higher. What's causing that? That's crazy. The food nearly doubled. I mean, I don't think it's been that dramatic in where I live in that short of amount of time, but if you go back like pre-COVID to now, the cost of food, the cost of just about anything is just a lot higher. But I don't know about 6 months. Jordy gets a trophy gibble. Jordy's the one that had that trophy pollock the other day that I was feeling a little envious of. The Netherlands, really? The crazy green power ideologue. You actually go to Germany to get gas and food? Oh, that's interesting. Are there no famous inhabitants? I mean, there can be. There will be, right? What? Holy cow. Imagine not putting that in your house and just like naming it. Oh, those rares. Look at that beauty. Has anybody done a study on what's the fish that has had the most catches and remained named before it got sold? So Jordy's at 36.31 strawberry corn. Do I know about this spot? 36.31. I don't feel like I know about that spot. If I do, I am not sure. Good thing we recast it. Hey, it's a rare. A Kohaku. $16 kilos super freak on strawberry. Nice. All right, sounds good, Sarkos. Have a good day. Good night to you. What is the yellow line I'm using? Uh, it is the solid material high power nylon. I agree, the models are amazing. Dro's fishing's been pretty good. We have done okay. We've done okay. Bream, rough, and then the normal like F1 carp stuff. Mm. 7.5 barb, nice. Wolf says, do you know any good map for spinning and high paying fish? I'm level 22. It destroyed your Protown 4000. Steelhead says Yama. That's interesting. You think you lose less fish with the high power line? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that. I just like the way the color looks. 22. Yeah, that's that rough spot. Things get a little better when you get 26. I mean, if it was me, if there was a spot at Volkov, I would look into that. If not, I'm probably looking at Corey. If you're talking about spin fishing, just doing some trolling, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That is probably what I would do, but I have no idea how good those spots are at this time. Since the reset, I haven't heard anything about either one. You're trolling Corey with spoons? Well, there you go. Yeah, if it's active at all, that's probably what I would do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This seems like very similar. You may have just said this, but very similar to what we were kind of typically getting over at the other side. A lot of the same species. Maybe a little bit to, oh, there's a Dinks Linear. That's awesome. A little bit more common carp maybe, but very similar. Banana might be better. Yeah, I'm good with trying something that's not banana. Oh, let's see. Neon Light says I've closed eyed. Both trash carp. Trash carp. What would trash carp be? Common mirror? Is that what we're calling trash? And F1. Trolled with 24 mirror. I'm liking the lake. You. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I've been enjoying it. Royal Picker 98H is worth to buy for copper. Oh, sorry. Trash carp. Crucian and Gibble. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Is the Royal Picker 98H? I think it's good. I don't, there's other options, so don't. But yeah, I think it's good. Crucian and Gibble or trash carp. Yeah, I got you. I just wasn't thinking. I was thinking non-rare for some reason, but yeah, that makes sense. They are good for getting bottom percent. Yeah, true. I always forget that when people ask, and I recommend bream. But truly, if there's a really good trophy Crucian Gibble spot, worth rotating that into your routine when you're trying to level up bottom fishing, because you're getting such a high percentage of trophy and just good sizes overall. Bread, basic carp, ground bait. Really? I don't know if I've actually tried that. Basic carp ground bait, size 8 hooks, and bread. That's fascinating. I'm using clip 10. I'm using clip 10 Screeder. Keep those F1s coming. Simplicity says that's why I said basic carp mix works awesome with banana corn. The clip 5 spot at Old Berg near the bridge. Interesting. Basic carp mix with 2 feed pellets from the store. What'd you catch that on? Goros? Was that just on corn? 41,000 fish, 70% of them are Crucian and Gibbles. You had a 26 dink. Hair rig, Coco's, cream pellets, boilies, and cocoa dip. Oh, wow. That's great. I like that. Oh, you're fishing here. Yours was on 2D. Yes, dink. Dink leathers and linears, especially leathers. Some records are on classic. Yeah, that makes sense. when I've switched to classic hair rig here, I've definitely like still caught some fish, but I just don't, I think that the bite rate typically does slow down for me a little bit. Maybe that won't always be the case, and maybe I'm just not like doing the right approach, but especially when I'm streaming, I just want to have it as decent of a bite rate as possible. But it would be nice to start catching a little bit bigger fish, sometimes at least. Hinge stiff on one rod. Why is that, Fabrique? What do you think that hinge stiff is doing? It's another F1. Once you hit afternoon, the F1s are starting to come out. You're getting a lot of koi on it? Oh, nice. Yeah, somebody was using a maggot rig yesterday. I think they were doing pretty good. I'm not far enough to go to those other rig types. So I'm set for hair rigs. Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Most areas are sludge. Yeah, I really need to get in the habit of testing spots as I'm fishing there. We've had some good orangies today. And was our biggest fish a kohaku? It was. That 11 kilo kohaku is nice. The bait size compared to caught fish? That kohaku is going to be nice money? Yeah, I think so. Do an advanced tips YouTube video show about checking depth and ground type. Yeah, that's a good idea. Most spots here have sludge mixed with clay. Got a nice super freak the other day on 2D. Nice. Yeah, I think it's so interesting how 2D does seem to be hitting some of the larger super freaks, but also the all three of the different dinks species. It's weird. All right, let's I think I'm about ready to wrap it up. Let's see how much silver we made. I was hoping one more fish might come in real quick. We'll see, what time is it? 2 o'clock. I mean, it does start to slow down, so yeah, so if I could start, I mean, if I was going to fish here longer, I would definitely put corn on this one too. I think the third line has been the slowest. I think that's true. Mostly we've been catching stuff on just straight corn. And of course we could always do a banana test to see. Yeah, it's been a while since we caught something on the one with, okay, so that's the last fish. that we caught with the one with the boilie and the corn. Although we had 2 in a row with that one. Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? So those are the only 2 fish we've caught on it. Yeah, banana here, comparison would be good. Maybe even Tootie, I don't know. It is cool to be fishing on this side of the map, and obviously it's doing good enough. Like if you need to let the other side rest. Can I send you by whisper? Yes, you can certainly whisper me for sure. Thank you for asking, but yeah, you're welcome to. Grat's on level 12. Criffle. All right. Oh, yay, we're going to get our last fish, and it's on the one that's on boilies, if I can just be patient. There we go. Yes, I agree, Bomar. At least by hour, it's probably a good idea. All right, we're starting to get some last-minute fish here. It's a nice common. Come on, be an F1. Is that a non-marker? Yeah. This has some slack in it. Is that because it's getting a bite, or is it an ultralight F1? What does that mean? They're using wacky or what? I don't know. Usually it is beneficial, to be honest. Not just this map, but some maps maybe more than others. I have only caught 1 funny tench, and it was very small. It might have been a marker, but it was on the small side. I don't know if you meant whisper on Twitch or in game, but I'm assuming you meant Twitch. Some map has spots. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some maps, some spots. I think it depends on the volume of fish you're catching. I don't know. It's weird. Oh, you can't send it there. Okay. No worries. Can you send me a message in game and just like describe the name of it or something? I was at 10 clip maniac. Oh man, we didn't get 5 gibbles, and we didn't get our tench either. All right, so yeah, almost 100 silver for that Kohaku. And let's see, and 79 plus the cafe order on bream. And then on carp, we made 784. Wow, 863. So probably with cafe orders, like just under 3 hours, 950 silver, something like that. It's not bad. It's not quite as good as day 2, but it's certainly better than day 1 and probably equal to or slightly better than day 3. So overall, a good day 4.